On this episode of Drinks Around the Table, I sit down with Brandon Calloway and Mike Gladney of indie comic company Darkmoon. We talk shop about how they diversified their various stories into both manga and comic lines, and the plans for both moving forward. Hope you enjoy. Question for this season, to kick everything off, has been, what was your, regardless of the creative endeavor you've got now, doesn't have to match up, but what was your first artistic love? Like, what sent you down the path of digging art, whatever it is?
So I don't know if this is, I mean, my first artistic endeavor was like acting. I don't know if we've ever talked about that.
We did on your episode a little bit. We talked about not that it was your first love necessarily, but that was your the first road you got on.
Yeah. So like I think I even said the first show that I was in was in second grade, and I was a flying monkey in the Wizard of Oz, and like fast forward, I was doing drama. I was doing monologues. I ended up competing in Shakespeare competitions, and I even got acting scholarship. Like I was a real drama nerd, and that was the art of becoming a different character, understanding why people do what they do. Acting was kind of what kept me, or what drew me into just the creative field in general, and what kept me there.
I got you. All right, Mike, what about you?
To be honest, man, it was Little Shop of Horror, the musical with Rick Moranis. That's my favorite. Till this day, it's still my favorite movie, man. Like, yeah, like as a kid, I used to watch it every day. I know every word, every song, word for word. It's just, that was what, like, I used to be just amazed by that movie when I was a kid. Like, so to me, that's my, outside of comics, anything else, that was like my first artistic, like, yeah, man, I want to do that. Like,
wow, a couple of theater nerds. That's the first time that's been the answer.
I remember being like, I was 3 years old. And I was sitting there watching, sitting cross-legged on the floor watching TV, and I thought that the people in the box was actual people, and then when you change the channel, they went off to the side and they changed all their clothes, and then they came back on, and you changed the channel again, and they did it again. Like, I was convinced that that's what it was, and then I found out, like, no, those are people in the real world, somewhere else, like, being recorded. I was like, what? Like, I could be one of those people? It was like, yeah. And from there, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be on TV. And it kind of that unwavering vanity drove me.
Nice. Well, all right, Mike. What about you? Does that mean you did you take up singing at all?
I used to sing in church choir, but other than that, nah, man. I've always loved it. Football was such a big part of my life, in sports. Like, I played sports all year long, so like I didn't really have time to do anything else.
Right.
So like that's what really got me into. I just read comic books.
Yeah.
I just wrote. I didn't really have time to do anything else. And I'm not upset about it. Like, I loved like playing sports. So like that was cool. So but. Even in when I got to high school, they used to want me to be in theater because I used to I took the classes, but like I could never take time. Like, it was always football, it was basketball, it was track. Like, I wouldn't have had time to do any type of theater stuff. Right. So I took most of the theater classes I honestly took were in college, and that's where I had like fun. It was improv. Like, that stuff was fun to me. Like, that's the most fun in school I've ever had.
Well, now that you're both in comics, has that field of study fed any of the narrative that you do now in comics? Did you learn anything there that you've brought to comics?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and like, you know, when I started writing the comic, my first thought was, well, like, you know, I know how to write a play, I know how to write a script, and like that was one of my bases for figuring out how to convert that from, you know, script form over to comics. But just you learn storytelling, you learn, you know, rise and action, climax, like the whole the little pyramid thing.
Oh yeah, I got you.
And just like how to tell a story and all of that, even as actors, even though you're not, like, you know, you're not writing the story or you're not directing the story, you still learn all of those parts of it, and that ultimately translate. I mean, it's how do you tell a good story? How do you tell a good story through acting? How do you tell a good story through comics? It's still it's somewhat similar.
Right. Gotcha. All right. Well, Mike. So in his episode, Brandon kind of described, and I'm gonna plug, like, your episode will be right up here, so people can get like the full path here at Darkmoon. But Brandon described his anime, manga, the ones that influenced him, that make up the DNA of Darkmoon manga. What are some of the comic books or novels or what have you that have done the same for you in the comic work you've done for Darkmoon comics?
Well, my all-time favorite anime besides, well, of course, Dragon Ball Z, because I mean that's just me. I've been watching since I was a kid. But Baki. I've been watching it. Like, my dad got me into that, so I've been watching Baki for a while, and just like in my fights and like every battle that I prepare for, like I take a lot from Baki, because like they're warriors. So like some of my characters, like they won't even battle you if they don't feel like you're up for a fight. Like they won't even take their time with you if they don't feel like it. They feel like to be killed by them is an honor, and you don't deserve that. So, and I take a lot of that from just the Baki universe, just the way they do. Honestly, just the way they do battle. I've always loved it. I've always loved the way they fought, the way they took how they take battle serious. Like the look in their eyes whenever they're prepared to fight, they're prepared to die. Like it ain't just a battle to them. Like any typical street fight is they're always ready to die, and like they can see it, and like the way you can tell in the series of who's like that and who's not is just amazing to me.
Right. So anime is for both parts of Darkmoon now is a strong in the DNA.
Well, yeah, don't get me wrong. Like comics are my all-time favorite superhero, Superman, of course. To me,
I'm on Team Superman.
Like I tell you, who's everybody? It's always, can they beat Superman? Well, I mean, sometimes it's Goku, but still, it's always, can Goku beat Superman? Right, so right. Like, I take a lot coming from just Superman. I have characters that design. I try not to be exactly like him, because there's some things about the suit that I don't really care for. But
sure.
But I think you can find that in every hero. Most importantly, Batman. But no, man, it's I try to. I'm thinking for the word. Put my spin on everything. Like something I saw. Because I tell people, it's hard to come up with something new in comics that you haven't seen already.
Sure. Right.
I mean, like you can even like coming up with a new power. Like what power can you come up with now in 2023 that hasn't been created? Man?
Right.
Like you just got to put a different spin on it. So like that's really my main focus. Like I used to get caught up with, hey man, it's got to be something completely different that nobody's ever done before, and that story ends up being something I wouldn't even grab off the wall and read. So
well, yeah, because that's the thing. 9 times out of 10, it becomes all about the hook, and there's no meat behind the story. There's no character I care about. It's all about this different thing,
right?
And you can't.
Right, and a lot of the stuff nobody's done it before, maybe because it's not a good thing to do, right? Like a superhero made of pins. Right? Nobody's done that, but I don't want to read that. I don't want to read the superhero made of pen. So like
I get it. Yeah, I mean, like I said, some of the best stories that I know of, or there's not anything different from what's been written before. They just put a different spin on it. So, last thing is everybody. Let's take the multiverse. Everybody uses the multiverse. Everybody does now. They just put a different spin on it.
Right. Well, and even the comic, like it wasn't an original idea when DC did Crisis on Infinite Earths. It wasn't an original, like it's been around forever. So yeah, it was all just how they flavored the soup when they did it. But no, that I completely agree. All right, so however, whoever wants to start with this question, jump in. But you started with Black Spartans at Darkmoon. That was like that's the kickoff, right? But now you've separated into Darkmoon manga, Darkmoon comics. Why was that an important step?
Yeah. So I mean, there's somewhat of a difference in the manga, like in traditional manga and traditional comics. Usually the world of manga is so fantastical that like a comic universe can't exist and cross. Like you usually can't take multiple manga stories and trying to mesh them into the same universe because whatever is happening in that, like you couldn't take Dragon Ball Z and Naruto and put them in the same universe. Like it just wouldn't fit.
Right.
And so the manga, like when I'm creating these manga, when we're creating these manga, they're kind of these all-encompassing stories that have these clear beginnings, these clear ends, and these like over-the-top fantastical elements, kind of all through it. And then there are a lot of traditional like tropes that come with come with manga, and so there's just these traditional character personalities, and like kind of like the conversation we were just having about superheroes and powers. You can get away from all of that and do different things, or you can also do those traditional tropes that make it recognizably a manga and do it in a new way. And so when I was creating Black Spartans and Reign of Chaos, and now what do I got? I got Knights of Olympus as well. And like when people that typically watch anime or typically read manga read these, they're able to read it and point out like, oh my gosh, that's so anime, or oh my god, like that is it gives them that sense of familiarity, while also giving them a new story, and the void and gap for superheroes of color is still there. And so I also I am a huge anime and manga fan, but I am a fan of the traditional comics, right? Like Green Lantern, Thor are my favorite superheroes, and so I still wanted to create this more traditional superhero comic, and so in order to kind of like not confuse people, right? Like the comic that we initially came out with is Michael, and creating that clear separation of Darkmoon manga and Darkmoon comics, because the Darkmoon comics is this interconnected world and universe that Mike can talk about, but Darkmoon manga is its own. Each story is its own clearly defined universe.
All right, so
If that makes sense.
So yeah, like Black Spartans, Rain of Cat, like they're not in a shared universe.
Right.
Gotcha.
They're not.
Gotcha. All right, what do you got, Mike? Like, what's your angle on that?
My whole angle is to build a universe, man. Like that's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I've been working on. I honestly been working with a lot of great artists that like surprised me, because some of these people were people I grew up with. I had no idea they could draw like this. Like it was like I put out something and they all wrote me back and just started sending me artwork, and I sent them like little pieces of a script, and they sent me back like, I'm like, dude, I had no idea you could do this. It's like, yeah, man, it's just something I do in my spare time. Oh, okay. But yeah, back to the universe. It's just I'm enjoying building like stories to connect the universe. Right now, the first team we have coming out is the Regulators. And like their story that like I've been working on is, I feel like it's a great story, man. It's a 3-part story. So just working on that right now. That's the main focus of it.
Cool. I got you. All right. So then, how does, now that it's you've separated the chocolate and the peanut butter here, instead of having the Reese's cup, how does communication work moving forward between the two of you? Like, are each of you kind of spearheading one, like Brandon on manga, Mike on the comic side, or how does that work?
Yeah, so the manga stuff is being separated and still kind of running on its own, and so it'll go a little bit slower because it's been the thing that is like kind of dominated Darkmoon, and so not to say that it's going to be put on hold. So it is the thing that I am focusing on, and it is a second priority while I assist Mike in really driving the comic part of that, and the superhero universe part of that. So he's the driver of the Darkmoon comics universe. I'll still be doing some Darkmoon manga stuff, but it won't continue to move at the same speed that it has been moving at, which it shouldn't, because I have too many mangas. Like there's Black Spartans, Reign of Chaos, and Knights of Olympus. Like it's just too many. It's too many.
Right.
And so that needs to slow down while the focus is on ramping up the comics that we kicked off with Michael, and is a pretty good introduction to the comic book universe.
Gotcha. So that was going to be a 60-page, but you've now busted up. It's going to be a 3-part.
Yeah. So it'll still end up being 64 pages overall, and so the first 24 are out, and then the next 2 will just be 20 each.
I gotcha. So is that the game plan then? You'll, like, that 3-parter will come out, and then how's that work? Does then Regulators come out, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we still working that out a little bit.
Okay.
That's part of that universal build right there.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so because as you know, we have your script is done in Prometheus, right? We got
I'm doing the second one.
Right.
That was going to be the second one.
Yeah. We got the script for Skybreak done. Mike is I think done with, or pretty close to being done with, the Detroit Red.
He's done.
Yep,
he's done.
Yeah, done with the Detroit Red solo one as well. And so really just we put it all together and then seeing what's the logical order for stuff to come out in.
Right. No. All right. Because that was initially you were thinking along the lines of, I'm trying to remember from your episode, it was going to be kind of like Marvel did that first phase, right? Like you were going to introduce all the big guns and then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the initial plan was to put out Michael and then Prometheus and then Skybreak and then Detroit Red and then kind of bring it all together in this big superhero team. And Mike and I have been playing around with the idea of potentially introducing the team first to you could when you see the team, you'll have a favorite hero. Just
right.
Period. Right. Everybody's favorite hero won't be the same.
Right.
And so there's benefit in putting out the team book first, or putting out the team book next, so that people can begin to pick and choose and there's a flavor, there's a personality in that team, really for everybody.
Cool. Mike, you gotta weigh in on that?
I know everything he said sounds good, man. Hey, man, like I said, dude, this is, to be honest with you, like I said, I thank Brandon for this opportunity, man. This is my dream, to be honest with y'all. Like, to be able to write comics, build a comic universe. Like, I'm about to put my 120% in it. I already have been. So, like, everything I put out, like, I'm taking time. Like I said, I've been reading comics and doing this stuff since I was 7 years old, man. So this is all this just being wrapped into one universe. So, like I'm excited, man. Like,
well, I imagine Brandon's happy to have some of the load off, having two universes. Yeah.
Honestly, I can't believe you guys said yes. Like, Aaron, when I came to you, it was like, hey, I got this hero, or I have this slate of heroes, and I'm thinking 60 pages, and you can write one, and like,
yeah.
Like, hey, yo, do you want to do some work for me for free?
Yeah. Well, and it's on public record that you're the only reason that worked. Like, I would never in a million years have taken that deal had we not already been friendly before.
Yeah.
And you, but I did end up making a character that I dug. Like, I am curious to see what you guys do with Prometheus, because I
got some great ideas for him though, man. Like, he's a cool kid. Yeah, I like I said, man, I'm every single one of them, dude. Like, every single one of them. Like, all of our characters, like, I feel like people are gonna fall in love with, and it's just they gonna hate some of them, and like it's good. Like,
you did. Because if everybody's drawn to the same character, there's a problem, because you've wasted time on the other 5 characters or whatever. If they're not as well drawn. All right, so what is Black Spartan still a 200-part saga?
Yeah, it is. It is. It is that the 200 chapters that are mapped out are still mapped out and are still moving towards where we originally thought they were gonna move towards. No matter how many times I reevaluate it, honestly, I really like the story. Yeah. And I like so it's the one that I took the most time to, like, actually sit down and develop long term, and so when I did that, I did some really deep lore, some really deep story building, some really deep world building, and again, like, One Piece is my big inspiration on that.
I was about to say.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's nowhere near as long as One Piece is. It is actually as long as really a lot of traditional, like, Demon Slayer is considered a pretty short anime series. I'm not short, a pretty mid-sized typical anime series. and is about 200 chapters. Black Clover just wrapped up, and I think that's somewhere. I think that's towards 300 chapters. So it's pretty. And Black Clover is, I would consider that a pretty short anime series. So yeah, it's still there. It's still there.
What's funny about that is, so I rewatched your episode of Drinks from the first season to kind of prep, because I didn't want to retread anything we talked about there too much. Like, obviously we were going to touch on Black Spartans and things we touched on, but what made me smile was towards the end of the episode, you say something along the lines of like, look, I'm someone that I don't split focus. I'm doing Black Spartans, and that's like, I'm gonna do 200, and now it's like you're just talking about Reign of Chaos, night, like you got 3 manga going at once.
Yeah, it's crazy. It was I stand on what I said, in that's what I should have done, and and this is the Reign of Chaos came because I'm a big Dark Souls fan, and I was like, man, I like Dark Souls, and I like isekai, like where people get sucked into video games, and I was like I wanted to create my own Dark Souls type isekai, and honestly, there are, like, I have a few people that really love Reign of Chaos, and that like they like Black Spartans, but Reign of Chaos is their thing. And then the Knights of Olympus, I was like, man, I don't have any blood and guts and gore. Like I don't have anything that's dark enough. and so Knights of Olympus came, but Knights of Olympus is actually not, like, the plan for that is not
not a saga.
Well, not a long comic series really at all. So, I have another endeavor called Blurred TV, where we're trying to create a TV station specifically for Black nerds, streaming service and all of that. And Knights of Olympus is actually focused on going towards animation rather than the comic. So the comic was really just a marketing thing to
kind of a proof of concept.
Yeah, and to show people a little bit of the introduction to the story. So because that's not even chapter 1; it's like chapter 0, just kind of explaining the world and explaining, like, setting up the story. The main character of the series is barely visible in the chapter 0 anyway. So yeah, the 2 core are really still Black Spartans and Reign of Chaos, but Black Spartans is on chapter 4 now, and Reign of Chaos is still at 2.
Yeah. Side note, speaking of One Piece, did you guys check out the live action at all?
I did.
I dug it personally, but
Mike, did you watch it?
Take this from somebody that's never seen an episode of One Piece. Okay, I watched it. I watched them. I dug it. Can't lie.
That's what's up.
And I will tell you this: it made me start watching the anime.
See, I tried again too, because Brandon had me. Even though he told me it's like there's like 12,000 episodes or whatever, I was golly. So I started watching it, and I was digging it. But the problem was, you would have these episodes, and this is going to sound sacrilege to One Piece fans. I understand. I apologize to you guys and to everyone listening. But, dude, I could not stay awake for some of those episodes where, I mean, I swear, it may have been because I was falling asleep, but I swear there's an episode where it was literally the combatants walking up a hill towards each other for the entire episode, and it still never happened. They still never fought until the next damn episode. I was like,
Hey.
I can't do this. So that's why I dug because that's the thing that really sucks.
So,
is I
actually,
love these characters.
Yeah, that was when they were in Usopp's village. I'm assuming
It was. You even know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. So
I do know what you're talking about.
See,
Yeah.
yeah, like that's how you said you was falling asleep. That's how some of the My Hero episodes be doing me. Okay, some of those episodes I be
Hey,
trying.
no,
No,
not my hero. So,
like sitting there watching, like, man, I don't really care what happens to them.
One Piece, I love One Piece, and it is a slow trickle.
Which normally I'm fine with, and
Yeah,
I am completely agreed with you on the world building is dope. The characters are very interesting. My only complaint with the anime was, while I can handle slow pace, this was excruciating slow. Like, I wanted out of Usopp's village so damn bad. I was like, I don't even care if they all die and we start over.
Yeah, so one of the things, like when I saw that the live action was gonna encompass the whole East Blue saga, I'm like, how are they gonna do that? It like this is, I don't know, like 100 episodes worth of stuff. How are they gonna put that into, a 10 episode or 8 episode season? And so I think they did a really good job of kind of taking the critical pieces. They added in some new elements.
Ooh,
So-
that's
so,
kind
like-
of rolling the dice with fans. Like,
Yeah,
Usually-
yeah. So like Garp and Luffy, that is there's like, I don't know, 300 or 400 episodes before they meet, and they do not meet in the East Blue, in the anime, and so like that was a pretty big deal. The like everybody finding out that Garp and Garp is Luffy's. Wait, y'all have seen this, right?
I watched it all. Yeah,
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about spoilers.
Yeah, but everybody finding out that Garp is Luffy's granddad, like that the rest of the Straw Hats don't find that out for hundreds of episodes.
Wow.
And yeah, it was a cool, spin, because it was new for us, and I watch One Piece, I read One Piece, and so being able to see the live action and see some new stuff was cool. And I guess, I don't know, were there moments in there that were there moments in the live action for you guys that like felt real deep and emotional?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely, and I wasn't there because I know people beyond you who love the anime, and I know people now, I've met people now who, the manga too, that kept talking to me about like, did you, wasn't that sad? Wasn't that, and like none of it hit until the live action was the only one where I was like, damn, all right, now I see what you're talking about with these characters. Because like I really didn't, I watched however long that is from the first episode to Usopp's village in the anime. I watched a little beyond that. And so that whole time, I never got the love for Luffy. I was like, I don't get, he just seems like a goofball.
Well,
now the live action did land. I got that, like, he's fiercely protective of his crew.
Well, yeah, the first big part in One Piece where you see like the big, I don't know, emotional moment for Luffy is when the walk to Arlong Park, right? When they go and fight fight Arlong and the Arlong pirates. But I don't know, for me, the fight between Zoro and Hawkeye, it hit a little bit deeper in the anime.
Okay.
The interaction between Luffy and Nami right before the Arlong fight hit a little bit deeper in the anime. but they had more time. And
Sure.
so to me, that's where that slow trickle comes in to benefit, and that it really this emotional build up. But I'm glad that so for me that in the live action, it didn't come across as, I don't know, like meaningful or powerful. But I assumed that it was just because I had seen it.
Well, yeah, you got to get that hook set deeper by spending more time with it. I did not bring us down this like 5-6 minute tangent of One Piece, but it came up organically, so I thought, why not? Yeah. I'll ask.
Yeah.
All right.
Now,
well,
My Hero Academia, man. Now
I'm watching it. I'm finishing it. I'm going back. I'm finishing it. But there's still those episodes where I'll be like, "Come on, man, you could have kept that. We didn't need that. I don't."
Yeah. There's some like there's some episode like the music festival and stuff like that. But they teenagers just living their life, and so they got that. They got that in it.
I get it. I used to like. I get it. I'm not even gonna complain. Like Young Justice used to do that in the first because they was kids, and but Young Justice grew up. So like, it got a lot better. I could stay into the show. But no, man, it's I love My Hero, man. I'm catching up with it. My daughter watches, so I'm trying to catch up on it.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Nice. All right. So we got a little glimpse into Darkmoon manga. What's coming down the road? Mike, can you tease, hints, anything about what the road forward looks like for Darkmoon Comics? I don't want you to spoil anything or anything like that, but like, if you have anything you can tease, feel free.
Trying to think. What could I say without giving nothing away? Let's just say the regulators are not who you think they are.
All right, fair enough. And I mean, the people watching this have now seen what the regulator team shot looks like, so we'll let them decipher what that means on their end. Yeah. But so we're running out of time. Where can everybody find? Where's the best place to find both of you and Darkmoon?
Yeah, so we got Darkmoon Comics on Instagram and Facebook. So at Darkmoon Comics, either place. There's darkmooncomics.com, and that's still up and active. And then there's a little bit of stuff on the Darkmoon Comics YouTube channel, and then you can every now and then I'm popped up at random places. And,
you're in the Kansas City area,
yeah. Yep. And often up at Comics Coffee House.
I'm always here. I'm always here.
Comic Coffee House.
Yeah.
Olathe.
In Olathe, Kansas. I'm always there.
All right. Well, man, gentlemen, thanks for having a drink with me.
No problem, man. Thank you for having us. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Till next time.